So we're going to do a second update on my workspace here to see how things have progressed. I added this shelf here for new work at the top, complete here in the middle, and work in progress or waiting on parts here at the bottom. Let's see, I did a video on how I got a lot of this stuff up off the ground, kind of a temporary solution. This air compressor nozzle is going to have to go up here someday, but I can't, I'm not allowed to drill into the walls, so I'm waiting. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I got it off the ground so I can easily run my shop vac underneath. I got rid of the bins that were on the ground and put bags. I got a trash bucket over there. That's for dirty rags. I'll put this Kaizen foam on these magnetic bowls so that screws can't migrate underneath and get stuck to the magnet on the bottom of the bowl. Did a video on that. That's not supposed to be there. That's just charging. In fact, it's done, so I can get rid of that. I moved my boxes down here one shelf so that they were more accessible from my chair before I had them on this shelf. I've been getting a few more tools and things that I need for the business. Got a few more things down here. I don't think much of that has changed. I did get rid of some stuff. I got rid of this outlet over here that was cluttering my table. So now the only things on my table are these bowls and this, which is all I want on the table, with the exception of this light. Eventually I will get lights that aren't on the table or connected to the table, and this is a piece of crap light. However, this is new, so this extra light helps. And this piece of cardboard is to block the light from my eyes while I'm sitting at the chair so that the light only goes at the machine. I added a light back here, and again, this is just kind of janky because I'm not really allowed to drill anything into the walls here at this house. But I might just do it anyway at some point. But I did get extra light, so the light situation is much better. Put some necessary information on the wall, stuff I need for reference. Kind of adding and subtracting a few tools as I need them. I added this little piece of Kaizen foam with some mounting tape, just for my thread and bobbins and just a few things I can kind of poke in there for storage. Pretty simple and basic and not very overkill, you know. It's not simpler than screwing this board to the wall. I added this clip for my work orders so I can always see any notes, make any notes that I need for the work order, all sitting right there. I made this new rug that's a little bit better size for my turntable. Just cut up this old rug, saved me $200 from buying a ESD electrostatic discharge turntable, so that's pretty sweet. Love that. Did a video on this. I got rid of the jar, made a home for everything. I got a few scrap pieces of fabric. I guess I'm going to need to find a spot for some of these because I do kind of reuse these scrap pieces of fabric, so I'll need to deal with that. I did a video on my charging station down here and having my tools right handy, right where I need them, always in the same place. Before, I think they were somewhere down here in a big cluster. They kind of migrated around. I got this Dremel, which is stuck in this vice grip, or this vise here, clamped to this board. I just use it as a light buffing wheel for certain components. I also inherited a second Dremel so that I can put, because this one kind of needs to stay here, and then I got these other commonly used attachments here that I can put in this Dremel. I just drilled some holes in like that so they were handy. Otherwise I'd have to go up there into that gray box and get the parts I need, but I just made a home for them. I got the wrench here for changing the bits, right handy. I got the wrench for this one kind of connected here for the time being. That way it's right handy. Eventually my workspace probably isn't going to be here, so some of this stuff will probably just have it like attached to the wall, but for now this is having to work. This red tool bag here is my home tool bag. and I'm at home right now, but I'm trying to engineer this out of my system. So I inherited this from a family member, which is just kind of a rolling box. I'm starting to kind of transition away from that, putting the tools in here. This I can take with me then if I ever have to do traveling jobs. I'll use this. Also, I'm just kind of using this for, you know, most of my primary tools are up here. My secondary tools are kind of in here. And then stuff I don't need that much is over here. Not sure if I mentioned my iPad, but I got all the information I need right here. I made this little clothes hanger stand here. It took me about 5 minutes. And I got all my information on here. I got a charging cable here that charges the keyboard, mouse, and iPad. Everything I need is right here, right in front of me. One of my biggest wastes is that I pick up machines in batches once or twice a week. So I have to drive to the next town over. I have to stop at 2 different drop-off sites to pick up machines. And so there's a lot of wait time there, and there's wasted transportation. Eventually I'll be setting up my shop most likely at one of the drop-off sites so that I can work on machines right there where they're being dropped off. And then that way the customers aren't waiting, because if I pick up this machine on a Monday, I'll finish this machine on Monday, and then it just sits here until Thursday. So the customer's having to wait a couple days, which I just feel is outrageous. However, because I have a pretty wide moat on my market, customers are used to having to wait several weeks or months to get their machine back. So for the time being, it's still a major improvement for my customers. But eventually this machine will be serviced, and then I can notify the customer for pickup same day, ideally. There's also wasted transportation because I'm having to make extra trips to and from town, which by the time I get to the drop-off sites, load my car, drive home, unload down here in my basement, I waste probably an hour, hour and a half per trip. And that's just kind of lame.